materials with others? Can I share what I learn every Friday night to other people? The answer is yes. Okay, we are encouraged to share these things to others. We should not be keeping it to ourselves. Okay. Now, the first thing I'd like to share with you is many of us do not fully learn because we do not act on what we learn. Okay, so the acronym is ACT, ACT, ACT. So we encourage everyone. Okay, we would also want to encourage those that we teach, especially if you're a pastor or if you're a teacher, to apply this ACT principle. Okay, ACT. Letter A is apply. Okay, so first of all, when you hear preaching or lectures or good messages, you have to ask yourself, how can I apply this in my life? Is there any area in my life where I can apply these lessons? So that's the first thing, no, in the acronym ACT, apply. Okay. The next is letter C, which is change. Is there anything that I need to change in my life? Is there an attitude that I need to change? Is there a pattern of behavior? Is there a habit that I need to change? So A is apply, C is change, and letter T is teach or tell. To whom can I teach these things? To whom can I tell these lessons to? So, um, when you learn something and you apply it, and of course, you have been changed by it, and then when you begin to share it to others or to teach others or tell others about it, the lessons most likely will be retained in your life. So, I hope no everybody will be aware. Let's act on what we learn, what we hear, what we study every week. Now, this is not only applicable during our Friday night um, lessons, but this can be applied also for Sunday preaching. So every Sunday, many Christians would attend church. Sometimes there will be Sunday school, there will be preaching, and then there are other lessons or teachings, no, on the same day. But it doesn't those things may not change the way we act, the way we behave, the way we do things. So just remember the acronym ACT. Okay. So you and me are encouraged to pass this on to other people so that they will also be blessed. They will also be encouraged. They will also be challenged to grow, okay, in their personal life. So the second law that we are going to talk about is the law of awareness. The law of awareness simply says you must know yourself to grow yourself. Okay? You must know yourself to grow yourself. So here's a question. Do you have a sense of direction? Okay, it's like having a map. No? Many of us have seen that map and we know where we came from and then where you are at the moment, and you see your destination. So the map is a guide for you to reach your destination from where you came from, okay, to where you want to be. Now, in life, that is also true. Okay, when we talk about the future, when we talk about strategic living or living a life of significance, we really need to know where we want to go. Now, I remember when most of us have experienced this when we graduated from high school. There were activities like some would call it class prophecy. Some would say, okay, they have this scrapbook or they have these videos. Um, Complete the sentence in 10 years or in 20 years. So those who graduate from high school would come up with their vision of themselves for the next 10 years or for the next 20 years. So some would say, oh, in 10 years, I will already be a successful businessman. Or in 10 years, I will already have completed my PhD. Or in 10 years, I will already be a lawyer. In 10 years, I will already be a doctor, or things like that. So that gives a person a sense of direction. However, many times in our lives, we lose that sense of direction. We got caught up with the busyness of life, with the activities. No, everything is busy, busy, busy. That we have lost that sense of direction. Where am I really going? Am I growing? And if I want to grow, where do I want to grow? Okay, in what area do I want to grow? Later on, I'll share with you. For John Maxwell, he had these four areas that he really wants to grow in, and he used the acronym REAL. Okay, REAL. So letter R for relationship. So he wants to grow in his relationship. Letter E is equipping. Okay, so he wants to equip others. Letter A is attitude. He wants to grow in his attitude. And letter L is leadership. So those are the four areas that he wants to grow in. So real, that's how he would um, describe it in an acronym. So real. That's why he wrote a book, How to Be a Real Success, REAL. Now, when I was thinking about myself, now that I am 50 years old, um, I would I asked myself, what areas do I still want to grow in? What um, growth do I want to have in my life? So I also came up with my own acronym. I'm gonna share this with you. Of course,
Naka-live mo din.
can also
Wala.
have this. You can also adopt this, or this is I just came up with this acronym, and the word that I came up with is the word share. Okay, SHARE, share. Or sorry, uh, not share. Yeah, it's a share. So S is for spirituality. So of course, it's an ongoing um, desire to get to know the Lord, to grow closer to Him, to be more intimate with Him, to know His Word, to apply, to be the kind of Christian that I am supposed to be by God's will. So I'd like to grow spiritually. So S. H is health. Now that I am in my 50s, I turned 50 last July. Um, it is now more important and more, you know, it's significant for me to focus on my health. I'm thinking, if I want to still be moving around, mobile, healthy, in 10 years or 15 years, in 20 years, that would really depend on how I take or value my health now. So that's letter H. And then A, of course, is attitude. There are still attitude that I want to improve in my own life. And then R is, of course, relationships. Okay. You cannot be a happy person if your relationships are in a mess. Okay. If your relationships stink, sabi nga, your life stinks. So relationships, no, how to become a better husband, how to become a better father, how to become a better brother or friend or whatever. So relationships are important. And then letter E is, of course, also equipping others. Since God has somehow given me the capability, the trainings on how I can pass on what I have learned to others, then it's just but right to grow also in equipping other people. So that's my area of growth. So you can also come up with your own acronym on where you want to grow. I said for Jan Maxwell, it's real, relationship, equipping, attitude, and leadership. Me, I chose the word share, spirituality, health, attitude, relationship, and equipping. What about you? Where do you want to grow? What direction, okay, are you going to? So it's very important, no? Now, before you can grow, you have to realistically know yourself. You have to deal with yourself in a realistic way. A lot of people actually, when I talk to people, when they share with me or they ask for counseling, I realize that many of them do not have a realistic view of themselves. They think of themselves as something that they are actually not. Very important is what we call the feedback. What we call, the people who care for you the most, the people who love you most. Ask them, who am I really to you? I mean, um, what do you think are my strengths, my weaknesses, my interests, and my opportunities? Okay, those who really love you, those who really care about you, will be honest with you. The problem with us sometimes is we do not take feedbacks willingly or heartily. Especially if the feedbacks are quite negative, we kind of resist. So we don't welcome negative feedbacks. But feedbacks are gold, especially if they come from people who mean well, especially if they come from people who want you to grow, especially if they come from people who want you to
Biyahe
be
ka pa
the
na
best
ako?
that you can be. So,
Yeah.
just uh, get feedback, especially from people who really care about you. So, who are you? Now, of course, when people ask us, who are you? Many of us would just state our name, where we came from, where we graduate, probably our interests. But, when you want to grow, you really have to deal realistically with yourself. Okay? No pretension, no cover-ups. Who am I really? Okay, so that I can deal with my issues because um, James Russell Lowell said, "No man can produce great things who is not thoroughly sincere in dealing with himself." So if you cannot accept your areas of weaknesses, if you cannot accept that you may not be strong in some areas, and you convince yourself that you are great in all areas, then you cannot grow. You really have to seriously, sincerely, and realistically get to know yourself, deal with your issues, know yourself better. Okay? So, to grow yourself, you must know the following. First, your strengths. In the Bible, we call this our gifts, our spiritual gifts. Now, every one of us, as members of the body of Christ, have been given by the Lord gifts. Okay, um we are not the same. Not everyone has the same gifts. Every one of us has our own gifts or spiritual gifts from God. That's called your strengths. That's where you excel. That's where you're good at. That's where you can be more effective. So that's your strengths. Another is your weaknesses. So these are things that you're not good at. Okay, I'm not talking about the weaknesses that these are my weaknesses, uh, lust or temptations. No, I'm talking about where in your area, or what are the things that you are not good at. Okay, so those are your weaknesses. Even if you are passionate about that, no, you cannot pursue it because it's not just your strength. You're not good at it. And then the third one is your interests. What's your passion? Okay. So this is what we call our passion. What do we really want to do? What do uh, we love to do? Okay. A lot of people would tell you, I don't like what I do. Okay. So, we only have one life. And then when you stay on something that you do not like, you stay on a job, you stay on a place, you stay on, let's say, an environment where you don't like it. So are you saying that you are going to waste your life in that area where you're not growing or you don't have passion about? So interest is like your passion, and of course, your opportunities. Now, I'd like to relate this. Of course, there are what we call awareness questions that we will discuss later. Now, for example, I'm gonna tell you, guys, I want to be my growth plan for the next 5 years is that By the end of the fifth year, I will be able to play in the NBA. NBA, National Basketball Association. Okay. I would like to play in the NBA. Now, that could be a passion. Okay. I could, I could invest my whole time, my whole resources, myself in that passion. But the question is, can I do it? Okay. First, somebody would tell me, you know, you're too old. Okay. You're too old to be an NBA player. So even if you try in the next 5 years to become an NBA player, you will not be able to do it. You're too old for it. Number two, you're too short to be an NBA player. Okay. Uh, NBA players, most of them are 6, 7 feet tall. You know, you're too short. You're too old. You're too short. You're too weak. Okay. So, I could have that passion. I could invest everything to become an NBA player. But unless I realize that, hey, that's not my strength. That's not where I'm good at. So I could probably, a good advice is, um, when something is your passion, but not you're not very good at it, don't make it as a career, make it as a hobby. Okay. So of course, if I would like to play basketball and that's a hobby, no problem. But if I'm going to make it as a career without considering the things that I cannot do, I'm not good at, then I will just be frustrated. I will just be disappointed by the end of 5 years because I don't think it will ever happen. Now, of course, somebody would say, as long as you believe it, you can do it. Okay. Have you heard that saying, just believe it. If you believe it, you can do it. No, we can't. There are some things that we cannot do. Okay. We have to admit, we have to know ourselves. We have to know what we're good at. We have to know what we are not good at. We have to know what's our passion. Okay. And then, of course, if your passion and your giftedness is combined, wow, that's very powerful. Imagine someone doing something that is his passion and at the same time his strength. And then your opportunities. For example, um, do you think I have an opportunity to be drafted to the NBA because I'm here in the Philippines? I'm old. I'm not. I'm short. I'm fat. Things like that. Okay, so you also have to get to know this thing so that you can deal realistically with yourself. In organizations, I've been with, again, I have shared with you, I have been with a lot of organizations, both in private and in public industries. They have what they call the strategic direction or a strategic plan. The first step in coming up with your strategic plan is what we call undergoing a SWOT analysis. What is SWOT? The organization's strengths. These are the things internally that they are very strong at, or the organization's weaknesses. So these are internal. So they have to know their strengths, what they're good at, and their weaknesses, so that they can leverage on their strength and they can improve on their weaknesses. But also, they have to know the external factors of the organization, such as the threats. Okay, what are the threats? Or if this is a business organization, the competition. Okay, and of course, the opportunities. The goal is for the organization to be able to identify, to leverage its strengths, to maximize the opportunities, and of course to build on their weaknesses or to improve on their weaknesses so that they will mitigate the threats, the risks of the threats. So that's how organizations do it. Now, I think we can also apply it in our lives, okay? When we know ourselves, our strengths, what we are good at, our weaknesses, our interests or our passions, and our opportunities. Okay, audio check first. Uh, am I clear? Can someone confirm? Just
Yes,
to
sir.
confirm that I'm
Yes,
all right.
yes,
Very good.
Pastor. Yes.
All right. Thank you. So here's something that I want to share with you. To reach your full potential. Now, I love this word. Okay, if there's some, no, there are words that when you hear it, it's just pleasant to the ears. It's just encouraging. It's just, it's just positive. And one of that word is potential. Okay. Now, everybody has potential. Siguro, one of the most encouraging words in the English language is the word potential. Conversely, if you add the word unreached before that word, that could also be one of the saddest phrases in the English language. So you have potential, but you were not able to reach your potential, unreached potential. It's quite sad, quite, disappointing. This could have been you. This could have been the successful you. This could have been the healthy you. This could have been the happy you. But here you are, not being able to reach your potential. Sad, right? So to reach your potential, you must know where you are and where you want to be. Okay. So even in strategic planning of organizations, that's how they do it. Where are we now? Where do we want to be? That's their vision. How do we get there? Okay, that's where we will act. That's where strategies come in. That's where alignment of strategies would come in. So where you are now, where do you want to be? And of course, when you know where you want to be, then you can come up with your own strategy on how you will get to that destination. So that's how you reach your full potential. Now, there are three kinds of people when it comes to finding direction. I'd like you to notice this three kinds of people and try to figure out where you fit in these three kinds of person. First, okay, people who don't know what they would like to do. Okay. So these are people, I don't know what I want to do. So they're confused. Okay. So they just course through life, not knowing what they really want to do. Okay. What do you really want to do? I don't know. I'm confused. Okay. So is that you? Or the second group of people is people who know what they want to do, but they don't do it. We call these people frustrated. I know what I want to do. I know where I'm good at. I know what my passion is, but I don't do the what it takes to grow and to become the best that I can be. So they are frustrated. And of course, the third one, and this is the kind of person, the kind of people that we want to be, right? People who know what they want to do and they do it. These are people who are fulfilled. They're happy, they're satisfied because they know what they want, they know what they want to do, and they do it. So they are fulfilled. So I'll give you a few seconds to look at this. By the way, in your workbook, okay, if you want to find out the answers to that blanks, just look at the underlined words in our slides because it will really help you. Okay. So if you're trying to answer your workbook. So again, where do you fit in? Honestly now, when you look at yourself, are you a person who don't know what you want? You don't know what you would like to do, so you're confused. Are you a person who know what you want to do, but you don't do it? That's why you're frustrated. Or are you a person who know what you want to do and do it, and that's why you're fulfilled? Okay. Now, this is a chicken and egg statement. You have to know who you are to grow to your potential. But you have to grow in order to know who you are. Okay? Now, it may sound confusing at first, but these are not mutually exclusive statements. That means um, if you want to grow, okay, you have to know who you are. But if you want to know who you are, then you have to grow. Okay, something to think about. No, we're not gonna spend a lot of time here, but this is something that the point is let's grow because the more we grow, the more we know who we are, and if we know who we are, then we know then we will know where to grow, something like that. Okay. Next, how to find your passion and purpose. Wow, this is very important. So I talked about our strengths, what we are good at, okay, your gifts, okay, and your interest, your passion, and then your purpose, the why. Okay. Why did God put me here? Why am I in this place? Why am I in this situation? Why do I have this gift? How to find it? Okay. So these are very practical lessons. First is you have to know what we call personal awareness. Okay, be aware. Now, we always teach our children, be aware with your surroundings, be aware with your environment. Okay, you have to feel and know what's happening. So you have to be aware of yourself. Okay, so that's why we call this the law of awareness. Okay, get to know yourself, get to know what God has gifted you with, your strengths or what you're good at, what are your weaknesses, what you're not good at. It's I I I watched this video, the funny funniest when people audition for talent shows and they're very passionate, they're belting out, okay, but unfortunately they're belting out badness when they sing, okay, so they're not aware that they're not good singers, but they're passionate about it. They want to pursue their singing career, but unfortunately, they're not just good at it. Okay. So, in the end, they will be made fun of, judges will laugh, and people will laugh because they're trying to push something that they're not good at. Okay. So, when you watch this audition videos, you would really ask, where are their family members? Where are their friends? I mean, not one family member or not one friend stopped them and told them upfront, sincerely, honestly, you will not be able to make it because you're not good at it. Okay, you might be good in something else, but not in this particular field. No, so we don't know. But of course, we just have to be aware of ourselves. Be aware of your strengths, weaknesses, your passion, and of course, the opportunities that you have. Now, here are the awareness questions. We call these the awareness questions that you have to ask yourself. Okay. Okay. So while we go through these questions, can you ask yourself these questions right now? So the first one is, do you like what you're doing right now? Do you like what you're doing? It may be a job, ministry, a career, where you are. Do you like what you're doing now? Um, because a lot of people would say, no, I don't like what I'm doing now. Imagine a person who would spend the rest of his life on something that he doesn't enjoy doing, that he doesn't like doing. Is it that, you know, the best definition of a life wasted? When you waste your life on something that you don't like, that you don't enjoy doing. People, just complain and they're not happy with what they're doing. So some John Maxwell would say, if a person would come to me and say, I don't like what I'm doing, then my advice is you quit, you stop. Okay, stop doing it. Now, of course, when you say stop or quit, people would say, what? Quit? So you don't like what you're doing, but actually you're not willing to give up what you're doing. So he calls it, some people are more comfortable with old problems rather than with new solutions. Okay. So we kind of become comfortable even if we don't like what we're doing. So we don't want to quit what we're doing. So again, can you ask yourself, do you like what you're doing now? Is it something that you do simply because you did it yesterday? Or is it something that you do because you want to do it? Okay. So again, John Maxwell said, if you don't like what you're doing, quit. you're wasting your life, you're wasting your time. Okay. And more often than not, you're not helping other people. So if you're miserable in where you are, you're also making other people miserable. Okay. Um, so you're not happy, then that being unhappy is contagious. Other people will also catch, okay, or be infected with that unhappy um, temperament or perspective. But guys, if you can answer this positively, you say, "Of course, I like what I do. I like what I'm doing now." Then you have to redouble your effort. Okay, so if you don't like what you're doing, you can quit. But if you love what you're doing, if you like what you're doing, why be average? Why be mediocre in that? If you love it, then be the best that you can be, so that you can be the best. Okay. Redouble your effort, triple it, or just go for it. Be the best that you can be. So, do you like what you're doing now? The next question is, what would you like to do? For example, you answered on the negative on that previous question. You don't kind of like what you're doing now. What would you like to do? Okay. Can you answer that? Do you know what you would like to do? Now, in this area, this is where we talk about this is your passion, okay? Because there is a direct connection between finding your passion and reaching your potential. Okay. That means if you are passionate about it and then it's your strength or your gift, then you can reach your potential. Now, so what would you like to do? However, you also have to be, again, realistic with this question. So, based on the illustration that I mentioned at the start of this lecture, I said, what if I tell you I want to be an NBA basketball player after 5 years? Doesn't connect, right? First, I may be very passionate about it, but that's not my gift. I'm not good at it. Okay. I don't qualify. So, in order for you to reach your potential, your passion should be matched with your giftedness. Okay. Passion and giftedness is much, much, much better than passion without giftedness. So, very important that you know your strengths, what you're good at, your gift from God. The next question is, can you do what you would like to do? Okay. So that's what I said a while ago. If I want to be an NBA star, can I do it? Of course, the answer is I can't. I'm not good at it. So why waste my time? Why waste my life? Okay, going for that passion when I know that I'm not good at it. Okay, we have to know the difference between what you want and what you're good at. Okay, so can you do it? Can you do what you would like to do? You know, um, when you found your passion, when you find your passion, okay, that's where you will do things without anybody telling you. You will excel without anybody pushing you or encouraging you because that's your passion. But can you do it? Okay, can you do what you would like to do? So that's a question. The next question, we call this awareness question. Do you know why you want to do what you would like to do? So this is the purpose question. Why do you want to do it? Okay. Is it because you want to be popular? Is it because you want to have more money? Okay. So, a lot of people want to be popular, want to be famous, want to become showbiz stars or things like that because of the fame, of the exposure, of the wealth that may be associated with that kind of um, uh, success. Okay. But, You have to know why. Why do I want to pursue this? For example, you have a goal in your life and you have the right motive. You know that your motive is right. It's not just for selfish reasons. It's for you to improve yourself. Remember the definition of a leader that we talked about last week. A leader is a person of value who values others and who adds value to others. Okay, so if you know why you want to grow, it's because you want to be a blessing. God, you want to be used by God more effectively. Then of course the motive is right. The motive is not selfish or self-centered. So you can go for it. Okay, you know that it could be God's will. When you do things for the right reason, it gives you inner strength when things go wrong. You know, when pursuing your dreams, when we pursue our goals, there will be difficult times, there will be challenges. But when you know why you do it, you want to do it, you know why you're pursuing that passion or dream, even if there are conflicts or challenges that would come, you would still push through. You would still, go for it. You would still persevere because you know why you want to do it. Okay, so this will keep you grounded. This will keep you founded. This will keep you strong. The why. Okay, so going back to the areas where I want to grow in personally. So I shared with you at the beginning of this lecture the word share. I want to grow spiritually in my spiritual life. I want to grow in my health. I look at people around me, they're very health conscious, they're health buffs, jogging morning and afternoon. And here am I wanting to become healthy because I want to serve God more effectively for many more years. But why am I not as passionate as them if I have the right motive, okay, or attitude, relationship, and equipping? So when you know your why, your purpose, okay, why you want to do it, then it will keep you going. Okay. The next question is, do you know what to do so you can do what you want to do? So this is where your action comes in. Okay, this is where you are now. This is where you want to be. So do you know how to get where you want to be? Do you know how to get to your dreams, to achieve your dreams? So first, awareness. Okay. Awareness is becoming very conscious of every choice you make. I've been with, again, several organizations, both in private and in public. Everything has to align to the what we call strategic goal, strategic objective, strategic positioning. That means there is a term in organization, they call it firefighting. Okay, firefighting. In Filipino, no, namamatay ka ng sunog, may sunog dito, may sunog doon. So you tend to put out the fires. And in organizations, if you do not connect your actions, your choices, your decisions with the strategic direction, you will just be busy attending to fires around you. So you will just, do things, address the issues. But what matters most is what you do to contribute for you to contribute to the achievement of your strategic objectives and your goals. In our personal life, that is also true. When you are aware, you become conscious of the choices that you make. Say, for example, again, I'm I want to be I want to grow in the area of health because of my age and because of my health status. Now, of course, I have to be aware that if I eat a lot of sugar, a lot of unhealthy food, that will affect not only me now, but me, what I will be 5 years or 10 years from now. That could have an impact on my mobility, on my health. So I have to be aware. So if my goal is to become healthy so that I will have more years for the Lord to use me, then I should be very conscious of the choices I make now because it will have an impact. Believe it or not, it will have an impact one day. Okay. the cholesterol will accumulate, the blood sugar will go up, and before you know it, um you're unhealthy. God will not be able to use you more effectively. So awareness. Another thing is, so if you want to get from where you are to where you want to be, you have to start by becoming aware of the choices that lead you away from your desired destination. So once you have identified where you want to go, where you want to be, then all your choices, your actions, our decisions, our, you know, um, the things that we do every day should now align to the achievement of that goal, okay, and to reach our desired destination. So that's awareness. The second thing is action. I think we also talked about this last week. Just do it. Okay. The major difference between those who do it and those who don't do it is those who do it, just do it. Okay. You please recall, no, that we talked about the law of diminishing intent. The longer you put something off, the more you delay, the higher the probability that you will not do it. So just do it, okay? Because if you know that you have the right motive, then just do it. You can't win if you don't begin. Okay, this is a good thing to remember. You can't win if you don't begin. So if there's something that you want to do, why not do it? Okay. The third thing is accountability. This is what we call, you share. Remember last week when we talked about a shared um, what you call that, a shared commitment is a strong commitment. Okay. I think this is what's missing in many of us. I realize that maybe this is what's missing in my life. Accountability. Having someone to be accountable for. We want to be independent. We want to be left alone. I can do it on my own, but many of us just can't. And we are more probably effective when we have accountability partners. And in the Bible, when you read the Bible, there are just so many verses that talk about the one another. Okay, one another. Pray for one another. And here in this verse in First Thessalonians 5:11, it says, "Wherefore comfort yourselves together and edify one another." Edify, build each other's up, challenge each other. So I hope again in this community that we have now, we will be able to challenge each other. Okay. I hope I can finish early so that we have more time to share. Okay. But this is very important. If there's one thing that I figure out that I really need in order for me to be more healthy, to be more spiritual, to have a better attitude, it's really accountability. Somebody has to check on me. Somebody, I should be able to honestly say, okay, I failed this time, but I want to make, I want to be better next week. So accountability. And of course, attraction. Who are the people you are attracting? Are they like-minded in success? So if you're growing, you attract others who are also growing. Now, the next question is, do you know people who do what you'd like to do? Okay, do you know people? So I just read this, and you have this in your notes in your workbook. So be committed. If you can, be with them, ask them. I remember listening to John Maxwell, and he said the valuable lessons that he got from two pastors that he asked to mentor him. Okay, so he took these two pastors so that they will honestly assess where he really needs improvement in his pastoring. So he talked about one of them saying, John, you are shepherding, and you'd focus on like a rancher. Okay, you are doing more of a shepherd rather than a rancher. So of course these are two types of pastoring methods, no, but if your church is small, you can do shepherding, you'll be involved with everyone's life. But if your church is growing, then you have to build the system, you have to build others so that they can also lead. So that's being a rancher. Or and then another pastor told him, you're focusing more on counseling, and you should focus more on equipping. Counseling is when you focus on people's weaknesses, but equipping is when you build others' strengths. focus on their strengths. And then those realizations really had a very big impact on how he did his ministry. So those are the people, okay? He knows he wants to be like those people. He asked them to be, to be his mentor, to be committed, be consistent. Now, if you can spend time with them, those people who can help you, be creative, learn from people, ask the right questions, be purposeful, meaning be ready. Don't just come unprepared. Okay, be reflective. Okay, preparation, practice reflection. Remember last week? Be grateful, always show appreciation. Now, for the next few slides, I will be very quick with this because again, we're running out of time. Should you do what you would like to do with them? So this is where the mentoring happens. When you ask people to mentor you, to help you out. Okay. So if you find a mentor, you have some responsibilities to this relationship. You have to possess a teachable spirit, always be prepared, ask questions, demonstrate learning from them, and be accountable. And if you are a mentor, okay, if you happen to be a mentor, of course, these are the things that you have to focus also and teaching your mentee. The next question is, will you pay the price to do what you want to do? Are you willing to pay the price? Because a lot of people just want, just have dreams, but they don't actually want to pay the price. When we stop growing, when we stop pursuing growth and pursuing our dreams, most likely, most likely it is a price problem. We are not willing to pay the price because, pursuing something would require sacrifices, would require, physical sacrifices, financial sacrifices, a lot of things. Okay. So are you willing to pay the price? That's the question. You want to be this, you want to do that. Are you willing to pay the price to do it? Because if you're willing, then most likely you will succeed. So I want to address the issue. Okay, it's too difficult. I don't want to grow. Maybe staying the same is better than growing. Here's something that I'd like you to realize. Yes, growth will cost you comfort, cost you some sleep, cost you probably some friends. It might cost you financially. You may not be able to do what you want to do because you have to refocus your energy and your strength. But what about staying the same? For example, you say, "Oh, I don't want to pay the price. Okay, I just want to stay the same." Do you realize that the cost is heavier? It robs you of your potential. It will steal years. Okay, that you can't get back. It will keep you living small when you were built for more. And the truth is, you're paying either way. Okay, so if you will not pay the price, actually, the price is higher than when you pay the price to do what you want to do. Okay, and then when can you start doing what you'd like to do? That's the next question. Um, Many of us just wait. Okay, let's wait for the right time. As we said last week, it's not gonna happen. Okay, you only get ready by starting. Many things in my own life, okay, many things in my own life were achieved because I just started it, even if I think I'm not yet ready for it. Just go for it with much prayer, with much help, support from others. If you think it's God's will for you, why not go for it? Okay, sometimes we call it analysis paralysis. Okay, just waiting and waiting will not get you anywhere. Now, here's something that I wanna, if you're my age, or we have participants here who are, you know um, not very young. Sometimes the danger for us is to say, okay, I'm already past my prime. I'm too old. I cannot. I'm already 50. Okay, maybe time for me to just relax and take it easy. Uh, but I think that's wrong because, you know 5 years from now, you and I will be 5 years older. The question is, are we going to be 5 years older and have achieved our dreams, or are we going to be 5 years older and not achieve our dreams? That's the choice we have to make. So here's a great quote. Although no one can go back and make a brand new start, anyone can start from now and make a brand new end. What that means is I cannot go back to make a brand new start, but I can start now so that I will have a brand new end. Okay, what a blessing. Okay, the next one, what will it be like when you get to do what you want to do? So this is what we call a vision. Picture yourself to have achieved your dreams, to have reached your destination, to have reached your goals. What will it be like? Okay, so that's how you will be encouraged to keep doing what you want to do. The next few slides are just encouragements. Here's a story about people whom we call visionaries. Visionaries. When Walt Disney passed away, he passed away just before Disney World opened. He never walked through it, and on the day it opened, a reporter said to Roy Disney, Walt's brother, "This must be a bittersweet day for you. It's really sad that Walt never got to see Disney World." Disney's brother Roy responded, "If Walt didn't see it, we wouldn't be standing in it." Okay, what a great um, response. The reason why Disney World is here because Walt already saw it. Okay, he has already seen what it's gonna be like. That's why it's here now. Even if he did not live long enough to see the opening of the Disney World, but he already saw it. That's why it's there. Another thing is this is a story of John Maxwell that when he was, I think, 24, 26 years old, he had a Christmas gift from one of his assistants. And that the book, it's a book, okay, that was given to him. The title of the book is The Greatest Story Ever Told. So he was so happy to receive a book for Christmas. But when he opened the book, it was all blank pages. And on the first page, there was a note that says, "John, your life is before you. Fill these pages with kind acts, good thoughts, and matters of your heart. Write a great story with your life." Okay, what a great lesson. Um, the greatest story ever told for your life. Either you're writing your own story or you're reading your own story. Now, it's better that by God's grace, by God's will, we write, okay? We make choices. We fill that book with kind acts, good thoughts, and um, wonderful decisions. Just a few more slides. There are two great days in a person's life: the day we were born and the day we discover why. And of course, a Bible verse. I will leave you with this Bible verse. "So teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts unto wisdom." Okay? It's about counting our days so that we can make it count. Okay, this is biblical. We're not gonna be here for a long time. Our lives here on earth is just temporary. We only have one life. We have we have a very very limited opportunity, so we have to count our days so that we can make them count. We can be the best that we can be. So in your workbook you have these questions that you can ask yourself. So after this, on your own, go over these questions again and have an honest assessment of yourself. Be sincere and be honest with how you deal with yourself. And of course, before we break out into our groups, here are the possible questions that you might want to share with your group members. So earlier, I showed to you the three kinds of people. Now, can you share with your group which group of people do you think you belong now? Honestly, are you the kind of person who don't know what you'd like to do? Maybe you're confused, or are you the kind of person that you know what you want to do but you don't do it? That's why probably you're frustrated. Or you are a person who know what you want to do and do it. That's why you're fulfilled. Maybe you can share, okay, which group do you belong? And the next question is, what have you realized tonight that you should be aware of about yourself to reach your full potential? Okay, it's all about awareness of ourselves, and that's the law of awareness. Okay, I'll circle back to you, Mama.
Saan ka
Thank
mag-aral na
you.
nagbalik?
Uh,
Bitin.
Gani, Emil.
Ga-explain pa ko.
Sorry
Di
po.
pa sana kami tapos eh.
Until tomorrow pa 'to. Until tomorrow pa 'to.
Oo. Nakatawa naman ako sa reaction niyo pagpasok niyo sa intro. Right. So thank you very much, everyone. We know that the sharing time is quite short, but we have made the groupings fewer. So still, hindi pa rin kayo nakatapos ng inyong sharing time. But anyway, we cannot extend it because we have to at least train ourselves to share faster and at least finish on time. Sorry again for the delay also of the posting of questions. So we learn this as we go along. All right. So as we end for tonight, let's have our photo opportunity with our admin. Photo op muna tayo. Please open your cam so we get to know you. And I'm also reviewing this for your attendance. All right. So, oh, hi, hello, Ma'am Joanne. So I was
Hi,
wondering
ma'am.
I was wondering who is Ma'am Joanne. Okay.
Hello po.
Now I know because I saw your
Ma'am,
face.
wala ako sa GC, ma'am.
Oo nga eh. Okay, we'll add you later.
Precious Grace. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Sir Steve, you have to
Yes
warn
po.
us if you're taking the picture.
Ah, lang po.
Si Ma'am Nessa, cold na cold, oh.
It's cold. Yeah, I'm getting ready for work. It's 6:30 a.m. here.
Wow, thank you, Ma'am Nessa, for being with us.
You're
Ready na, Sir
welcome.
Steve?
Okay.
Sir Steve, okay
Yes
ka
po.
ba? Nagpipicture ka na ba?
Okay po. Ready po tayo.
Okay.
1, 2, 3.
All
Okay.
screens.
Okay.
At parang nawala si Sir Pastor Elmer.
Okay. 1, 2, 3 again. 1, 2, 3. Smile.
Okay.
Ayun.
That's
Okay po.
Thank you.
Thank you
all right.
po.
So, as we end our session for tonight, let me remind everybody to please do the activity. If it's a bit difficult, just be patient for a little while and then you'll know it. It's a growth also experience for us in technology. So just try. Let me encourage you to try to do technology. For those ng mga thunders that doesn't want to do technology, go ahead and try it. So, see you next week, everyone, for the third law. Thank you, everyone, for participating, actively participating,
Thank
and
you.
being with us for tonight. God bless everyone. Thank you. See you next week.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
ma'am.
Bye.
God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank
Everybody say
you.
bye
Thank
to
you.
everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Good
See you
night.
next
Bye.
week.
Bye,
Okay,
bye,
we'll
bye.
turn off our
Bye.
Zoom.